Okay, people, so it's been about 3 years since the introduction to the Kara members in the Boruto manga, in particular, Delta. It's been about, I want to say 3 years, 2-3 years, maybe a little bit more. It was just recently in the last year or so that we started getting introduced to the Kara members in the Boruto anime, and in particular, Delta. And I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of feel like I've been under a rock these last couple of years or something, because I've always just been like, Delta, cool beans. At the end of the day, she's reminiscent in many ways, and this arc in general is reminiscent in many ways of, like, you know, the androids of Dragon Ball Z. She kind of reminds me of like Android 18, arguably a little bit more sadistic and more like the future Trunks' Android 18, opposed to the one that ends up, you know, getting it on with a dwarf. But shout out to Krillin and 18. I'm just playing, like, y'all are goals, okay? But I ain't gonna lie, this last episode or so, I'm just kind of like, yo, Delta, where have you been all this time, fam? Like, we're actually bringing forth a credible and seemingly badass, at the very least she's a little impatient, so there's that, but seemingly badass female villain into the Naruto story, into the Narutoverse. I mean, we've had a few. I'm not gonna completely say like, oh, you know, Naruto is devoid of female presence, unlike, you know, maybe like a Dragon Ball Z that just really didn't have that many females. But, you know, ultimately in comparison to somebody like Kaguya, no, like Delta, she's looking pretty awesome so far at the very least. And this is the first time in a while that we're having a big fight again set up for Naruto, and that's one of the biggest takeaways that I took from this episode, amongst many other things. But in particular, Naruto is about to have his first big fight in quite some time, and I am all freaking here for it, baby. Let's go. Naruto having a big battle. It's about freaking time. Let's talk.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
Okay, people, so Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 197 continues to do a lot of the things that I've been saying that the Boruto anime is doing right. In particular, it's doing a lot of character development, developing the relationships between certain characters, because we see throughout the episode a common theme that expected for the next few episodes, to be honest with you. Like, I want to say maybe 5 or more episodes, you're going to be seeing that damn vase. Like, if you want to make a comparison, that vase to Kawaki is that freaking swing set to Naruto from the original series. Like, yeah, there's huge significance to that vase. In particular, if you even look at it from a metaphorical standpoint, right? You want to go a little bit deep into this, is basically a broken person trying to put the pieces together, and that's Kawaki, a broken person coming from, you know, being destroyed by his father's abuse, and then Jigen abusing him, and now he's seeing a bit of normalcy, and he's seeing what a normal life would be like, so he's trying to put the pieces together here in Naruto's house. And that's the same thing in symbolic and metaphoric with the vase. So real shout outs to what they've done. This was of course from the manga, and I like that they're adding it and doing nice stuff with it in the anime of that whole vase thing. Like, yeah, it's funny, and, you know, you get to see a little bit even of the character development of relationships between like Kawaki and Himawari, even, for example. Like, you're seeing like a older brother, like, you know, a little annoyed at the younger sister, but he's not gonna be a complete asshole. Like, that's also a big distinction, like, because a lot of people you would expect, like, Kawaki, you know, he was experimented on, he might be evil, he might be bad. Like, no, he's just an asshole a little bit. Like, he remember what he comes from and stuff like that. So telling a 5-year-old, aren't you a little too old for hide and seek? No, fam, she's not. She's like 5. Relax. But we have that, and then we also have a little more of the developing relationship between him and Boruto, because at the very least, Boruto understands and recognizes what Kawaki's doing there with the vase, because he gave him the idea, like, yo, fam, instead of going out and buying another one, that's cool and all that, why don't you fix what you destroyed? Which, again, symbolic of, instead of Kawaki, like, going back to his old life or going on the run or something like that, how about you just, you know, pick up the pieces and put things together in your own way? So I thought that was really interesting as well, but also Boruto coming in and saying, yo, because he recognized that, hey, how about we learn about karma together? You want to know more about it, right? Let's work together and figure things out. So again, building even more of the dynamic between the two that I said. Again, if you watched my video, you should check it out. I've uploaded it about a week ago now at this point, of the Boruto story really taking off and doing great things with the development between these characters. And on the flip side, you go to the Kara group, you see Amado still working diligently, trying to figure out who the traitor is of this group, and we got Code there, and again, adding additions that, if I'm not mistaken, weren't really in the manga, which is greatness. Honestly, this episode also set up things that you're gonna be like, whoa, because in particular, like, Amado sends Code on a mission. He's like, yo, fam, go find Boro. We gotta do X, Y, and Z. And then little details here or there where Code is like, but you know, I'm not allowed to leave without Jigen's permission. And Amado's like, yeah, I'll get the permission. Just get the fuck up out of here, fam. Leave. So a lot of things that you could just be like, who the hell do you trust in this situation, right? Like, Code is acting really suspicious. He's very into all the details and things like that. So you could easily assume, like, yo, something's off with this guy. There's something wrong there. And again, a lot of these things were not in the manga, so I gotta stress that once again, these are things that the anime has been improving on. I gotta keep on stressing Boruto anime is leaps and bounds into doing great things. But then we cut to the sparring session because Boruto, Naruto, Kawaki, and Himawari head to a battlefield. Obviously, Himawari's just there chilling, relaxed. I'm not saying that she's fighting, although I would like to see that. I mean, she's kind of like a female Naruto versus Gohan, but that's another story. And Boruto and Kawaki go at it with the karma marks, obviously to figure out, try to understand a little bit more about this. And you could tell, for starters, obviously Kawaki's been doing this for a long time. He knows what's up. Like, Boruto is trying his damnedest, but at the end of the day, Kawaki's not holding back. And again, you can see the difference between the two of them, right? Like, Boruto, yeah, he's trying, but he's not willing to, in my opinion, hurt Kawaki like that, while Kawaki is like, yo, fam, I'm giving it all. You better figure it out. Again, that's the different teachings. Like, that's somebody that, Boruto's been kind of coddled and taught by his father that, Naruto's a good dude, while Jigen was giving it to him as hard as possible. Like, yo, take this, too bad if it hurts, whatever. So again, even there, you're seeing their characters on full display as they're going through this battle, this spar, so to speak, of them in the karma marks. And then following the spar that they had on the battlefield, Boruto and Kawaki, they do the, the piece it up, they, the fingers and whatnot touch to make sure that everything's all groovy, all cool, all that jazz, sportsmanship and whatnot. But one of the things that it was symbolic, but also at the same time pushing the story forward and the whole narrative regarding the karma mark is that when they did that, there was like a spark that they both felt, except Kawaki didn't supposedly see nothing, and Boruto, he saw Momoshiki's face. Like, you get a big visual, and this is like the first time in a while that Momoshiki kind of returned to the story and whatnot. And one of the things I think, like, you could say, well, for starters, that just means that the karma has been progressing, right? Like, whatever that thing is, that mark, it's probably moving forward, and that was why, like, it kind of gave a reaction, because you could imagine if this karma thing has something to do with the Otsutsuki, it probably was even more intensified ever since Boruto came into contact with Kawaki. But also, again, getting a little bit deeper into it, I think it was metaphoric of the bond that they could potentially have right now is blocked off, and a lot of it has to do with the karma itself. Like, so even if they became cool, fly with one another, they can't really do too much. They can't really become friends and ultimately live just a normal life of being friends and things like that, simply because, yeah, karma, Momoshiki, these aliens, these, creatures, the Otsutsuki. So I think that was something that was very big and pivotal and was shown metaphorically, but also just right there in front of our face that, hey, Momoshiki, karma, still a thing. And even though they're trying to become friends and the story is pushing them forward, there's still a big wedge in between them that is, the plot and karma itself. And I love how all of this is going on, right? Again, great character development, developing these relationships, seeing more of, like, just a lot of context to the story and the characters. And then waiting in the wings, which is what really adds things and adds different layers to it, is the fact that, for starters, you got Kashi and Koji watching them, which Kashi and Koji, very peculiar dude. Even Amado's like, yo, what the hell are you doing right now? What is going on, Koji? Like, where are you? What are you up to? So very, very interesting dude that he's watching this whole entire thing, and he keeps on. It's like, it's almost a case study for him, so to speak. However, on the flip side, we got, I don't know, fam. I don't know. They want me to simp. I feel like I can't help but simp. Because Delta, she's had enough, fam. She's like, yo, I can't do this no more. For starters, she sends her backpack over there, which definitely showcasing the mechanical aspects of what Delta is, because, like, it's a part of her back, essentially, that she sends into the leaf to check things out and find out where Kawaki is. And then once it's all said and done, she blasts into there, causing basically like a panic, because obviously once she goes through the barrier, they're gonna figure things out. And I was just kind of like, yo, that's a bad one for you. When she shows up in front of Naruto and them, like, you gotta think, you got some cojones, man. Like, you showing up in front of the Hokage, he's not a joke, he's very, very strong. I'm sure she gotta know some of that. Like, you're a part of Kara, you gotta have some intel, right? Like, the leader of the village ain't gonna be no pushover. You showing up right in front of him, on top of the fact that, at the very least, I can't remember, does she know that Boruto has the karma mark? You're showing up in front of some karma mark users, and yeah, you're going into enemy territory essentially by yourself, because you're under the assumption that Koji is just playing around and not really doing the damn thing. you got some guts, and I loved it. Honestly, Delta, like, she's hot-headed, so you could tell that there's like a childish nature to her, that she's just not all there to be, you know, staying around and figuring things out so that you can make a proper move. But she's like, yo, Kawaki, you remember how I punish people, right? Like, yes, girl, punish me. Okay, let me stop with the simping. And honestly, the setups and plays for this episode of Boruto 197, setting things up, because again, Naruto's right there, Delta's right there. Seems as though we're about to get a bout. Very curious what you guys think, because to be honest with you, without spoilers, manga readers know that this fight in particular was very controversial. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of negative, to be honest with you. There was a lot of negativity surrounding this fight at the time. So I'm really hoping that the anime can clear some things up and it won't be the same type of ordeal that the manga had in terms of the way people felt about it. Like, just in general, I remember I even initially into the battle was like, no. So I'm hoping that the anime handles it a lot better in terms of the way it's showcased, the way it shows both fighters, the way it shows the battle going down, because even in the preview we see for next week's episode Naruto in his Kyuubi chakra mode or in his Kurama mode going up against Delta, and I am all here for it. I can't freaking wait. Curious what you guys think for anime onlys. How do you expect this fight to go down? What are you expecting? Are you expecting just Naruto to squash her like a bug, considering it's not like she's the leader of Kara, right? She's just an underling. Or you think she's just gonna dominate Naruto? You think Kawaki and Boruto are gonna be able to jump in? Maybe they could triple team her. You think Koji is gonna get involved? And your overall thoughts and expectations, manga readers, what are you expecting? You think they could clear up certain aspects that had us a little bit pissed off in the beginning of the fight? And yeah, thoughts and expectations for 198. I can't wait. It's been a long time, but baby, that fawn as worn lady is here. Delta. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace and yeah, I think it's time to simp Delta. No, I can't help it, damn it. Have an awesome day.